Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Genuine Chit-Chat. This week, I'm joined by my pal, Sophie. Now in this chat, me and Sophie have a different dynamic as to me and a lot of my other guests, due to the familiarity between us, but also because essentially we're both just weirdos. So in this chat, it may seem potentially like one of us is a little bit off, or that the humour doesn't align or something like that, but that's not how it is. The relationship between us is different to that. We kind of go into detail a little bit of how we sort of know each other and that sort of thing. But, you know, if anyone is a regular listener and you hear this conversation and you think it sounds a bit odd, that is just because me and Sophie are weird people. It's like, we had a great laugh while doing this, and afterwards, you know, we were completely fine with it. This is only part one of our chat, where we talk about Iceland, Android and Apple phones, relationships in general, a bit of traveling, moving out, and sort of dealing with exes and ex relationships and things, because me and Sophie used to date, which we get into in the podcast as well. That's about it for part one. Part two, we talk about a story of Sophie being catfished, as well as online dating, wedding DJs, and a few other things. So be sure to tune in for that if you enjoy this episode. Now that's all from me really, apart from, you know, make sure you follow us on the usual social media places. Instagram, I have a lot more sort of images and stuff that go along with a lot of these shows. Like this one I'll be releasing, I'll put on some images of Iceland, of the Gullfoss waterfall that we discuss, as well as some of the geysers. I'll pop them on my Instagram along with this, post. I also have snippets of a lot of the recent episodes on there, so if you're a bit unsure of listening to other episodes, just jump on the Instagram, check out some of the 30-second clippets of the last 4 or 5 episodes. See if there's anything you fancy. If not, no worries at all. But if so, you know, maybe check us out. Also, we're also on Spotify as well as the usual podcast places. So be sure to check us out there if you haven't already. Anyway, that's all from me. So I got a promo for the Piecing It Together podcast, and then straight onto the show. So I'll be back at the end as usual to discuss sort of part 2 a little bit more, as well as the upcoming episodes. And yeah, that's it from me. So thanks as always for tuning in, guys, and I'll talk to you at the end.
Was A Quiet Place inspired by Signs It Comes at Night and War for the Planet of the Apes? Was Ready Player One influenced by Avatar, Wreck-It Ralph, and The Last Starfighter? Is The Hurricane Heist more influenced by Sharknado or Geostorm? These are the kinds of questions my guest co-hosts and I discuss on my podcast, Piecing It Together. Every week, we look at a new movie and try to figure out what other movies inspired it. Whether it's the story, the character development, tone, or even use of music. Every movie was influenced by something that came before it, and we want to figure out what. Check out Piecing It Together on your favorite podcast app, or check us out on piecingpod.com. You can also follow us on social media at piecingpod. Piecing It Together is a part of the All Points West podcast network.
Welcome to Genuine Chit-Chat, where we have honest conversations with interesting people. And I'm your host, Mike Burton. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a Huawei phone.
Is that how you pronounce it?
What, Huawei?
Yeah.
Well, yes. Chinese or something. How do you think it was? Huawei?
I don't know. I just keep saying Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah. I know that's not what it is, but...
Huawei, I think it is.
It's Hawaii. That's what I said.
I see. I don't know. What you were trying to... I know that you and Callum have got those phones. But
Callum got one of these phones as well?
Yeah, Callum got Huawei. I know Jasmine's got a Galaxy S9.
Cool.
I think Reese has got...
that makes sense.
Yeah, Reese has got an S8.
Ugh.
What? Well, for the S8, but yay for the S9.
It's the S8. It's like about 1 million years old now, isn't it?
What, 2?
Yeah.
Well, he got it last year.
Yeah, but in phone years, that's like...
touche.
About 60 phones ago.
Well, not 60 Samsung phones ago, because do they do ones in between the S9 and the S8?
I don't know. I don't follow technology.
No, I know that iPhones do, because they do the 6, and the 6S, then the 6C, and then the whatever, and then the next one.
Bloody hell's a 6C? What does the C stand for? Colourful?
I think... I don't know what the C does stand for.
Charges in less time.
It's probably compact or something. But
why do you want a smaller phone when you bring out a bigger phone? Doesn't make any sense.
Well, with the iPhone 6, I'm pretty sure this is 6. They brought out the 3 variations. They brought out the standard, and then the following year they brought out the S and the C. And the S is meant to be bigger, better, more, and the C is meant to be smaller, cheaper. and has
Shitter.
colours. Pretty much. Well, I'm not the biggest proponent of
Yes, I did it.
what?
I had one of them taggy things in my slipper.
Oh, I wonder why you're picking at your slippers.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not the biggest Apple fanboy anyway. I mean, I know I've got an iPhone and an iPod Classic and an iPod Touch, but I only got.
And I've got 4 iPod Nanos.
You could give them the
a billion
CX.
iPod cables.
Could give them CX, but I don't know. I've got them because of iTunes, and then I'm going to change it. Change my phone. I'm going to get a Samsung probably.
Oh yeah, you're coming over to our side. Oh.
You were on the Android side, then you got an iPhone.
Yeah, but how long did I use my iPhone for? Like 5 minutes.
I don't know. You had 2 phones for ages, and it got really
I
confusing.
I was drug dealer for a while, wasn't I?
Yeah, but you weren't a drug dealer.
No.
That's good because we're recording, so it's good that we haven't got the sounds of you saying I've got 2 phones because I'm a drug dealer.
I could never be a drug dealer.
Well, you don't do drugs, and you don't know anything about drugs, and well, I don't know. That's pretty much. I think that's probably the only 2 things you need to be a drug dealer, and you have to be great at lying. I think bad with people.
I could never be a drug dealer.
Yeah,
Never.
I don't know. I think you have to be quite organised as well, and subtle.
No, that's just not me.
Yeah, I'm aware.
No, not me at all.
No, definitely not. You're neither of those things. But yeah, I'm going to change to an Android, I think, next year. I said for a while, like, the main reason I kept Apple was because I had iTunes and all my music was on there. And it was like, well, I'm not buying a new phone when they make what I use it for. I basically use Google Chrome and then Facebook Messenger and texting and the Reddit. That's basically all I use my phone for.
Boring.
Well, actually, I suppose I do take quite a few photos with it now, and I get them printed off at that Free Prints site.
I have that app too, yeah.
It's great. Yeah, well, I made like Mum's photo book with that as well.
Did you get the free photo book app?
Yeah.
Have you got the Photo Tiles app?
I know about the 10 different apps you can get, but I haven't got them all.
Yeah.
I've seen them, but I'm tempted to get the Photo Tiles app at some point, mainly when I move out, so I can actually...
Yeah, that's what I was going to do when I get my own place. I was just going to get like 1 billion tiles printed and have a photo wall. That was quite cool.
Yeah. I mean, I was tempted just not to make them out of photos, though. I was tempted just to get like things I think are cool. Like, you can just get artwork online and you just post it in there. Cheese.
I don't know what you think is cool.
I have my living room with like 80 different cheeses on it.
Bit of Edam and some...
Brie,
Yeah,
Camembert, Leicester, Gullfoss.
I was going to say Gloucestershire, but that's a cheese, isn't it?
That is, yeah. You can basically name almost anywhere in Britain and there's a cheese of it. If it's like vague county, province sort of thing.
Yeah.
Wensleydale. Yeah. Red Leicester, Gloucestershire.
Fun fact, I have actually been to where they make Wensleydale cheese.
So is it Wensleydale?
It is actually Wensleydale, yeah.
Did you go to the factory that make the cheese?
We went to the factory, yeah.
How was it?
Yeah, it's cheese, isn't it?
Well, I've never been into a cheese factory. I assume they just put loads of milk in tubs, mix it in at curdles, and...
I don't really remember.
What a terrible segue.
Sorry.
You've just ruined the whole podcast.
I'm really sorry. I'm sorry to all of the no listeners that this was.
Oi.
It's one with me. Why would anyone listen to one with me?
Well,
I'm not exactly excited.
Well, I've got a few thousand. Not.
Have you actually?
Well, I think it's somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 people have listened.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really impressive. I didn't know that you were that popular.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're welcome.
that. Yeah, one of the episodes on archive.com, archive.org rather, which is the place I started first putting my podcast up before I got Podbean, because Podbean just puts it everywhere. Whereas if you put it on Archive, you've got to put it on there, then you've got to make a website and then do all these faffing things to get onto iTunes and stuff. But I used to do that. And then when I changed to Podbean, where you just upload it to Podbean, it puts it everywhere. I just kept doing it on Archive. But Archive is like its own thing, so you can just go there and listen to it like separately.
I've never heard of this thing that you keep
Nor have
saying.
I. Archive.org. It's got like basically, you can put stuff on there and it archives
Are they
it.
sponsoring this or something? You keep saying.
I don't know. It's not. It's because it's a word that's also a website. So saying it is, to archive something is also the website.
Archive.org, yeah. Oh, do you remember archive.org? Yeah.
It's got loads of music and video and things. I think it's got quite a few stuff on there people put on there for like community stuff, like anyone can use it. And one of the episodes I've put up on there has got like 600 listens, and that's on that site alone.
Is it the one with Johnny?
No. Oh. That is one of the more higher up ones. There's the one with Jack and the one with Steph. I think those two are the two most popular ones.
Oh, really? Johnny's so funny.
I'm planning on having him on again.
You should.
Yeah, I know you think it's
every episode.
Just have Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny doesn't have time for that.
I don't care.
He has a lot of things going on in his life.
Well, we all do, but, I'm here.
And that's why I don't have a co-host.
Oh, yes.
A great co-host.
He would totally be a great co-host.
It would depend who I had on. The problem is that I'd have some people really interesting I want to talk to, and he would just not make it possible to talk to them.
Okay, well... I mean this in the nicest possible way.
Oh no, you're gonna be horrible. You're gonna throw some shade. You'll be throwing some shade at me. I don't really appreciate this. Pre-shade warning, go on.
You also make it impossible to talk.
Thank you.
Like I've said that 2 words this entire time, and I don't even know how long I've been here.
Well, that's part of the magic.
Yeah, well,
yeah. Well, to clarify to everyone that doesn't already know, Sophie and I are friends, so all of this is not all true, it's partial banter. Some of it is throwing some true shade, and it hurts. But
it's all quite true.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you were listening to the podcast for a while, and then you told me my intros were too long, so I shortened them, and you stopped listening.
It triggered me. Oh my god, yeah. They were like 4 hours long, and I'd already finished the bus ride before I'd got to the actual podcast. I'm like, oh god.
The longest one I think I had.
Mike.
The longest one I think I had was like 7 or 8 minutes.
That's like an hour.
That's 7 or 8 minutes.
When you're on a bus and there's screaming kids that you need to drown out, and there's just you saying that and you can hear a plane, and I don't care about the plane. Just tell me what's going on.
The plane one was only a 3-minute long intro. And
I don't know. I stopped listening to you after a while.
I know you did, as did I think most of my. Pretty sure all my friends, because it's that idea, isn't it, where when you hang out with me, I talk enough as it is, so you don't actually want me to, you don't want to leave my presence and then just hear me talk even more.
Well, we don't hang out that much, so it was, in a gay way, keep you in my life. That sounds too gay.
and what's the excuse now? Now you see me even less, and you don't listen to the podcast.
Yeah. And I barely reply to your messages. I know, I'm the worst friend ever.
I would say it's just because you're busy, but you're not.
No, I'm really not. Well, no, I am.
And you're always on your phone.
I am always on my phone. I'm on my phone right now.
I know.
No, it's just, I never know what to say to you. And even
when I say to you, hey, when we're all planning on going out this Friday, are you going to be about at this time? And you don't know what to say.
Yeah, I never know what to say.
It's either yes, I am around this time, or no, I won't be.
Well, no, I'm always free. Like, I don't have a life.
Okay.
Just to warn the nobody listening to me that this is not going to be very interesting. Do I want to do anything? Absolutely not.
Well, there you go. That's the thing. That's what Reese is a bit like. So Reese and I were talking, and he said that with me, one of the things I do is I kind of spend my time trying to make sure that I've always got something to do. And what Reese does is the opposite. He spends a lot of his time trying to make sure he doesn't have anything to do. He tries to go to as few social events and social situations as conceivably possible.
Yeah. See, I dream about going to social events. Like, I could do a U and have something booked in every single day of the week. And then when it comes to actually doing something, it's like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. No, I don't. My pajamas are calling me, and, I've just got that new hotel it's testing. No, I'm not going out today. No, it's fine. And I've been like it for ages.
Yeah, I think a lot of our generation are becoming more socially anxious. It's just because, it's also that going out costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
In all aspects, like public transport costs money, or driving and parking costs money, or buying drinks out, buying food out, and we're not in the baby boomer generation who've all got mortgages or have all paid off their mortgages, we're the ones who need to buy and no one's got any money, so we're all just a bit fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know most of a lot of the people that we both know, who are buying property at the moment, basically can only do so because they're in a relationship. They're basically like, that's it. There's no other way of doing it.
Well, no, Josh's was going to get that house, but he's not in a relationship.
Yes, but he got given a lot of money for inheritance by his passed away grandmother.
I know.
If you get,
I was just trying to prove a point. You don't have to be in a relationship. God.
Of course, not every single person who's our age who's bought property is in a relationship. It's like, if you want to buy...
Not everyone's in a relationship either, Mike. Can't stop rubbing salt in the wound.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good segue. Go on then. Do you want to say how we met then?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Do I actually have to say it?
Well, you were saying that I talk far too much earlier.
You do. You talk way too much. Okay, so we met on Plenty of Fish.
Yeah.
Like a year and...
Was that May, wasn't it?
No, April.
Okay, whatever.
I'm still convinced it was before that, but I'm just going to go with what you say.
Well, it definitely wasn't before that.
Okay, so about April time.
Okay, May.
It's April, May, June, July, August, September, 6.
It's about what, 18
year,
months?
yeah, about a year and a half.
Yeah. Because we met on Plenty of Fish because we were both single Pringles, ready to mingle. And then, yeah, we met, we hung out, we dated for a few weeks, and then decided to just be mates. And then that's pretty much been it for the last
year. And
it was early
It's just after my birthday, so August.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a few weeks or so, a couple of months, but yeah, we didn't see each other for a little bit, and now we're mates. And then we went to Iceland earlier in the year.
My God, it was so fun.
Iceland was pretty cool. I wish I could go back there soon, but it's a lot of money.
So much fun. I still owe you so much money.
Well, you haven't paid me back a penny of it yet, so you owe me the same amount as when we got back, yes.
I know. So much money. My friend Katie has just been to Iceland, actually, and I don't want to be this dickhead, but she actually got to see the Northern Lights.
Everyone who goes to Iceland gets to see the Northern Lights except us.
Apart from us. We didn't do it. What? But we still had a bloody good time.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was just annoying that we, went to Iceland specifically to see the Northern Lights. That was like the number one thing, and everything else came second. And then that was the only thing we didn't do because
stupid weather.
It was just like every single evening was overcast. But the night before we got there, it was clear skies, and the night after we left was clear skies. It was just like...
Yeah, there was that sign on the reception desk, wasn't there, on the day that we were checking out?
Yeah.
The Northern Lights tour is on today. You what?
Yeah. And it was like on the main night we were planning or meant to be doing it, it was like in Scotland you could see the Northern Lights, and then you had a mate who was in Sweden or Switzerland, and Sweden, and they could see the Northern Lights as well. It was just like, so the whole trip was booked around seeing the Northern Lights, the whole trip, and everything else that was like a nice little add-on. And there was like, that was the most annoying thing about that trip. Like everything else was really awesome. We didn't spend as much money as we thought. The food was great. Went on the whale watching tour, loads of dolphins, which was really cool. The Golden Circle tour was amazing. It was much better than I thought it was going to be. The giant waterfall, the Gullfoss. Yeah. It was the Gullfoss waterfall. That's just colossally huge.
There's just no words to describe it either. You just stood at the top of this waterfall looking at about 1 million different waterfalls, looking and it's like, wow. Just wow.
Yeah, it was insane because like when people think of a waterfall, they think of just like one stream of water coming off like a rock face into a pool of water, and it was like
that's not what this was.
This must have been probably about half a mile wide, wasn't it? And it was about if each sort of waterfall comes off a step. If people think of it like a step, it like where water running off a step sort of thing, because that's the general shape of it. Yeah. If they thought of it like that, I think there's probably about 8 or 9 separate sort of steps before the big waterfall, but also the small ones were bigger than most waterfalls I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So it was just like these, that we got on my Instagram, I think I've put up photos of it, I believe from a little while back, because after we got back I was posting pictures for a while, but I might just pop a video up of the Gullfoss.
You should.
Yeah. Unless I deleted the video off my phone, which I
That would be absolutely heartbreaking.
Well, the thing is, I had to make a lot of space on my phone, and I think I've put a lot of stuff on the laptop. Like, I think I've got a couple of albums on the computer, which has got, well, you know, all the photos and things in there. But God, I don't know where it all is. There's so many folders and things on my computer. I was going to try and look now, but it's a bad omen, because I know what happened. It will just mess up the whole recording. Yeah, which is not really what I want to do.
I hope not.
Anyway, because we went to Iceland. That was in March. We went on the whale watching tour and didn't see any whales. We saw dolphins, even though some people argue that dolphins are in the same family as whales and that sort of thing. And then, what do? We saw the Gullfoss, which is the giant waterfall. We saw the tectonic plates that made up Iceland, essentially. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What was the other thing we saw on the Golden Circle? So 3 main things.
Oh, the geyser thingies.
Oh, the geysers. Yeah, they were awesome. And there's like loads of warning signs, don't get too close, and everyone was standing like ridiculously close to them.
I still think that you could have put your hand in it.
Well, that bubbling, boiling water.
Yeah. Still could have.
You think okay. Yeah. What did you think about Iceland when we were there? What were the things that you were most sort of surprised about?
How clean it was. Like, I know that sounds really dorky, but it was so clean. There was no chewing gum on the floor. There was no rubbish. There was no homeless people. You know, it just looked like such a nice place. And it really was such a nice place.
Yeah, that's what I said, I think, before we went, because I said before we were going, I was like, I want to go to as many sort of northern and eastern European countries kind of as I can, in a way. I do want to tick off all the natural and man-made wonders of the world as well, which after going to Iceland, I still can't tick any off because of the fucking Northern Lights. But yeah, I mean, I think I might have said to you before we were going there, I was like, well, when I went to Denmark, it was basically like everyone there speaks fluent English. Pretty much everything is in English as well. Everyone is super chill. It's, you know, capitalism is sort of the right amount, so there's a lot of stuff to do and things like that and things to buy or whatever. But then everyone smokes and there's no cigarette butts anywhere. People chew gum, there's no chewing gum anywhere. There's no litter anywhere. You know, there's not even that many more
rubbish on the floor.
And there's not even that many more bins.
I can't even remember seeing a bin.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can actually.
I'm going to have to check all of my pictures.
Now and just do like a Where's Wally.
2,000 pictures that I took,
you took
in
a
the
lot.
4 days that we were there. Yeah.
What else do you want to sort of... Did Iceland open your eyes? Did it make you want to go anywhere else?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there we go. That's the end of that. Thanks, guys. This has been Mike at Genuine Chit-Chat, and yeah, it's been great talking to you, Sophie.
Thanks. No, because when we went to Iceland, that was like my first proper holiday without any sort of parental units. Like, before that, the only holiday that I'd been on, proper holiday, like out of the country kind of thing, was when I went to Florida. That was for my 18th birthday. So then I went to Iceland, and it's like, oh my god, this is so amazing. I even like planes. This is great. And then I was going to Malta in May. And that was absolutely fantastic as well. And then now Josh, my lovely friend Josh.
Not the Josh that people for this podcast know. It's a different Josh.
Yeah, different Josh.
The podcast is still going in 2 years when he gets back, then I'll have him on.
Oh god, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going travelling in a week.
Yeah.
It's really sad. He's going to Thailand for 2 months. And then he is going to Australia. And he's just found out that he has to be out of Australia for a month before he can apply for residency. So he's going to do Fiji. So he's going Thailand, Australia, Fiji, and then living in Australia. So, fuck off, Josh.
Is he going to live in Australia to get like a job, just to work there for a bit, to make some money to help with the rest of his travelling?
I'm not really sure. I think when we originally discussed it, he wanted to like travel across America. And the company that he's going with has some sort of tour that does that, but he changed it so that he could go to Australia, and I think he's just going to stay there for a while. He just hates England. That's what we all do.
I don't know. It's one of those things where it's just like, there are certain places, I think, people-wise, I'd rather live. Like, obviously Canada. Everything in Canada is, like, sound. Well, not obviously every single human, but, generally. People in Wales are generally a bit nicer.
What? Wales?
Welsh people are like the Canadians of England.
We've met some very different Welsh people.
What Welsh people have you met?
Horrible ones.
When did you go to Wales?
I've been a couple of times. Thank you very much.
Okay. Fair enough. Maybe it's just the people that you meet.
Yeah, I do tend to meet some weirdos.
No, what happens is that everyone meets weirdos, and then you're nice to weirdos because you're trying to be polite, and then they just follow you, and then you can't get rid of them.
I can't help it. I'm a nice person.
Okay. Is there anywhere... Because you said we were talking about holidays and stuff. Is there anywhere you'd actually really want to go after going to Iceland or Malta or anything like that? Anywhere you've got your eyes set on?
I want to go to everywhere that Carl Pilkington was sent.
So the Great Wall of China, place like that?
Yeah. I'd like to see stuff like that. I can be quite nerdy at times and want to see all the wonders of the world. Like the Taj Mahal and things like that. And then other times I just want to sit on a beach drinking cocktails.
And that's what you did in Malta.
Yeah, that is what I did in Malta. Yeah. No, we did some sightseeing. Oh my god, in Malta. Oh, the bus drivers are absolutely horrendous. They just cram about 4,000 people on a bus and then just drive. They don't pay attention to traffic lights. They don't pay attention to people walking across roads. They just drive. And then if you want to get off the bus, you've got to hope that people are nice and will make a path. If they don't, you're on the bus right until the very end. And then you have to try and find a different bus to get to the other side where you need to be. It's crazy.
Is that what you guys did?
Yeah.
I see.
It was either that or I can't remember where we were, but we were trying to get to Valletta, which is where the main bus station is to get to everywhere else on the island. And we were sat at this bus stop and we'd been there for about 45 minutes and we knew the next bus was due at any point. And we saw the bus and there was about 7 other people with us at the bus stop. And we all put our arm out and the bus just went right past us. And we were like, what? What was that about? So we waited for the next bus. And it was about another hour.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah. And the exact same thing happened again. And what it was is because there was 4,000 people on a bus, they weren't stopping to let anyone else on. So we waited, I think it was just over 4 hours in total for a bus that would stop and let us on to get to Valletta. And then we had to get another bus to get back to Budgeba, which is where we needed to be. It was crazy.
That sounds horrendous.
Yeah, it was. But it was such a great holiday. I got so burnt.
Yeah, I know. I think you sent me a photo and I was just like, I said to you, I was like, you should put more suntan lotion on. You'd be, no, I'll be fine. And then first day?
Yeah, it was, the first full day that we were there. There was this rooftop, loungy area and some sun lounges conveniently placed there for us. And I was just like, yep, I'm going to get a tan today. And I didn't even think I was tanning. And then I turned over and do you know what it was? Right. This is not because I didn't wear suntan lotion or it's not because of anything like that. It was because I was watching 13 Reasons Why on my tablet on this sun lounger on a rooftop lounge. That's why I got burnt. There you go.
Well, because of 13 Reasons Why?
Yeah, because I was just watching it.
How long were you sat out in the sun for?
I don't want to tell you because you'll just shout at me.
I'm not going to shout at you if you...
Okay, so we had lunch, which was at about 11, and then went straight to the rooftop. So I was there from about 12:30 until dinner time, which was 6.
5 hours in the sun isn't necessarily too bad, but it depended. I imagine the temperature there was quite high.
Yeah, it got up to about 34.
Yeah, that's dangerous. And also, you shouldn't really be in the sun between 12 and 2 in most places, like direct sun, because that's like when it says worse for you.
I started off doing the whole rotate every 15 minutes like a chicken. I started doing that, and then I just got tired of holding my tablet up and my arms just like, so I stayed on my front, and then my back cooked.
Yeah.
And I still actually have tan lines, like, from May. How weird's that?
Maybe they'll be forever there.
Quite possibly.
It's a good chance. Well, it's a weird one though, isn't it, with tanning? Because I say weird one. I hate tanning, so I wouldn't yell at you for being in the sun for too long. I don't like tanning. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me, because if you tan, you just increase your chances of getting skin cancer, and it makes your skin slightly darker, and it also gives you a higher chance of skin cancer.
But I look great with a tan. That's why I was tanning.
But I just find that most people who are standard white Caucasian with a tan look worse than when they're just standard.
I don't look worse with a tan.
That's down to opinion, I think.
Yeah, and mine is that I don't look worse with a tan.
And you're welcome to do with your body whatever you want with, be it tan or otherwise. I'm just saying. I just think it's one of those things where it's just so many women especially are obsessed with it. And it's just like they go on tanning beds and shit like that. And it's
I've never been on a tanning bed.
No, you got like that nice organic skin cancer from the sun as opposed to the...
Yeah, I don't want none of that fake stuff.
Yeah.
I've never spray tanned.
Spray tan is stupid,
used that
but...
lotion with the built-in tanner.
The lotion with the built-in tanner makes sense, and the spray tan makes sense if you want to look tan, but they're both kind of stupid and unnecessary because it's like, well, why do you want to be more tanned? But, you know, people can make the same argument for hair dye. And I haven't got a problem with hair dye. It's just, I want my hair to be a different colour than it is, okay? So then tan is the same thing. It's like, I want my skin to be a darker complexion. The only difference is that, well, hair dye does fuck your hair up over time. It does.
I know.
Yeah. Because you have a different hair colour every time I see you.
Yeah, I know.
Ramona Flowers.
I couldn't even begin to describe what it is now. It's meant to be purple, but it's more pink.
Yeah, it starts like purple-ish at the roots, then becomes more pink. It's like a raspberry ripple. That's what you should call your hair colour.
Raspberry ripple. I got called candy floss the other day.
No, it's too dark for candy floss.
Well, it's because I dyed it again.
No. So pre the hair that you've got at the moment, it was...
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that picture that I showed you earlier...
Yeah.
That was my candy floss hair. And then I did a purple yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of people I know, women especially, who are quite... I don't want to say obsessed because it's kind of like it's insulting to a lot of women who dye their hair a lot, but it's just like they fixate on changing it all the time. And it's like, it costs a fair amount of money. It's terrible for your hair, awful for your scalp. And putting all those chemicals that get absorbed for your skin, I don't know what they potentially do to you.
Oh, it's awful. I'm not even being sarcastic. You're looking at me like I'm being sarcastic.
I thought you were about to make a joke.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
The hair dye is so bad for your hair. Yes, my hair is completely dead. I understand this. I've been dyeing my hair since I was like 13.
If you stop for a while, it will get better.
Yeah, I know. But I'm not gonna, because it's almost time for me to dye it again.
How often do you dye it?
I dye it quite a lot. I don't even think you ever noticed. But
often I would notice, I just wouldn't. It's like when some people at work get their hair cut every 2 or 3 weeks, and I don't bring it up every time because there's no need, because they look just...
I feel that's unnecessary, but we'll put a pin in that. No, I dye my hair. I've sort of started doing it where I'm blonde during the summer, and then I'll go some sort of colourful wonder for between October and like February. And then February to March is when I'll start going blonde again. It takes an entire...
You have to strip it, don't you? Is that the sort of thing you basically...
Strip it, bleach it, dye it, bleach it again, dye it. Oh God, I put my hair through some absolute shit.
Yeah, I don't. I dyed my hair once, bright blonde, and that was when I was 14, I think. Something like that. Got called Light Bulb. And Bleach. Instead of Beach and Bleach. And then, what was the other one? Okay, it was Light Bulb and Bleach were the two main ones.
Light Bulb.
It was because I had the Jufro as well. So
I remember pictures of your fro.
Yeah, the Jew fro and blonde hair. That was not a good shout from me. It was because when I was 13 or 14 or however old I was, I looked at pictures of myself before I was like 10, before puberty had ever started, and I had white blonde hair, like white blonde, but it was completely straight. And then, as I got older, it got darker and curlier. And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to dye it, blonde again. So all I did is just mum dyed my Jew fro basically yellow. So I just had this bright yellow mini afro. And I was like 13 years old and quite overweight. And I'm white. So I looked fucking stupid, unsurprisingly. And I got bullied at school for
that bit.
Proponent for people being able to do whatever the hell they want, be it tattoos, piercings, hair dye, whatever. It's just more... It's more people I know and care about. It's like, oh, I went tanning. It's like, okay, great. For aesthetic reasons, you've shortened your lifespan. Or it's not quite that simple, not quite that black and white, being a bit over dramatic. But it's one of those things where everything you do is just a proportion game. You smoke cigarettes, which obviously I do. Smoke cigarettes, and that reduces your lifespan. And you drink alcohol, that reduces your lifespan. You eat crap food, don't exercise, don't go outside enough. Everything just ends up stacking up and adding up to reducing your lifespan. And it's like, I say I smoke, I barely smoke at all now. But like, when it's something as trivial as changing the tone, so it's not even like hair dye, which is completely changing the colour, and from what I'm aware, it doesn't seem to cause cancer, but like laying out in the sun for hours and hours on end just so your skin can be 1 or 2 shades darker, and each day you do it, it kind of increases the amount of shades, which severely increases your chance of getting skin cancer. I just don't really equate that. Hair dye, yeah, whatever. If hair dye gave you like brain cancer, I mean, if a study came out and said every time you dye your hair, you increase your chances of brain cancer by like 0.1% or something, there'd be pandemonium. People would go mental.
Eating bacon gives you cancer.
Well, no.
Walking under a lamppost at 2 a.m. while quoting Shakespeare gives you cancer. There are so many different random things that people say give you cancer. Yeah, hair dye probably will do you quite a lot of damage. Suntans, they give you cancer. I get that. But I look good with a tan. Okay. That's all it was. I just wanted to look good. Why are you taking this away from me?
You look good without a tan, it's fine.
No, I don't. I look so much better with a tan.
I disagree. I think you look worse with a tan.
Wow.
I know. But I'm just
harsh.
Yeah, it is. But it's just with me, with women in general, it's like when they're Caucasian women, I just like them being... It's almost like the natural thing, It's like, if they're Latino, that's fine, If they're black, that's fine. Asian, fine. Caucasian, fine. But it's like when you're Caucasian and you're just kind of trying to always have tan skin, it doesn't look natural. It's like there are certain girls who are bigger and they wear it fine. But there's other girls who were skinny for ages, like a good percentage of their life, and then they just became really overweight and they don't wear it as well. And that's kind of what it's like for me, You see a skinny girl... Well, you know what I mean? Like, you see a skinny... Well, not even a skinny girl, I'm being sexist, but you see
God, where is this conversation gone?
Well, like, if you see someone skinny and they put on loads of weight, it looks worse than if they've just always been kind of fat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but isn't that just because you're not used to seeing them that fat?
Maybe. It could be. Same with the skin tanning thing. It certainly could be. But also, obviously, getting fat and getting tanned both give you cancer. So, well, fat is more heart problems, I think, and a lot of things kind of just putting strain on all your body, but still.
Yeah, you don't need to tell me about all the problems being fat give you.
Yeah, you're not fat.
But I am, though.
I'm not...
Like, literally, the first thing you said to me when you came to pick me up was, you've lost loads of weight.
Yes, you've lost weight.
Thank you. I was fat, yes.
Well, it's not necessarily. It's like...
that is pretty much what you were saying. You've lost loads of weight. You were fat.
Well, not necessarily, no. Because if someone's average size and they lose loads of weight and become gaunt, I'm not saying you've done that, but in this example...
Oh, no, I know I haven't done that.
Then they would... Losing weight doesn't mean that you were fat. That's not quite how it works. Because you can be... if you're like... half a stone overweight and you lose half a stone, when you're half a stone overweight, you weren't like fat. Do you know what I mean? Like, to be honest, I don't really like, the word fat because it's got such a huge negative thing around it. But, it's a real hard line because obviously I used to be fat, so it's fine. But like, there are people I know who are overweight, but I don't want to call them fat because it's a negative connotation. But there's equally that thing of, it has a negative connotation because you're basically just not taking care of yourself and just increasing your chances of dying. That's all being fat is. You know, it's like 0.01% of people who are fat have got like a genuine medical problem, but like out of 1,000, maybe one, if that. Everyone else is just, you're not eating properly and you're not exercising.
Entire plate of vegetables.
Did you see how much food was on your plate compared to my plate?
That's not the point. You still gave me an entire plate full of vegetables, and you know I hate vegetables.
I did ask you though before.
Yeah, I said no trees.
Yeah, and I didn't give you any trees.
I know, I'm aware, thank you.
Trees means broccoli.
It's trees.
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 Down with the trees. Yeah, anyway.
But I also do have a medical condition.
I'm not saying you don't. I was just saying people in general. Like there are a lot of
I know.
There are a lot of things that play into it. Like most women I know who are overweight have got hormone issues. Yes. However, most of the women I know who are overweight who've got hormone issues have hormone issues because they're overweight. And then you get a hormone, then the hormone issue
it's a vicious cycle, isn't it?
It then exacerbates it. It's like when a woman goes on the pill. You go on the pill, because it messes with your hormone cycle, it makes you more put on weight anyway. So that happens. It messes with your hormones and stuff like that, so it makes you kind of depressed or up and down quite a lot, which makes it much more difficult to exercise and eat regularly, and consistently and all that sort of jazz. So you put on weight, both from the pill and also because of the sort of hormonal disarray. And then after X amount of months, you're now overweight on the pill, feeling worse, and it's harder to lose weight. And so one tries to diet for a while or exercise for a while. They don't get the results they want in a quick period of time, so they give up quicker. And it becomes this thing. And it's like, I get it, I understand, and I sympathise, but there's just a lot of people I know who just complain about being overweight, and it's like, but you don't do any exercise or diet. Not you.
But don't you dare look at me. I do at least 10,000 steps a day, thank you very much.
I know you do, you walk to work and back and stuff and all that sort of jazz. But like, and you have been eating much better recently. And you lost quite a bit away from that. So yeah, it's one of those things where I do sympathise, and you know, I'm in that kind of mindset, which is everyone should be able to do whatever the hell they want. You know, if you want to eat shitloads of food and die early, then you can go ahead. There's no problem at all. That's the life one wants to lead. Go ahead. Because some people drink themselves to death. Some people do this. Some people do that. Whatever. People should be able to do what they want. But I don't like it when people put blame on everything else. I'm not saying you do, because you don't. But like, a lot of people I know do seem to do that, where it's just like, constantly blaming something else than being overweight. It's like, if you want to try that hard, just when you go shopping, don't buy nice things.
Oh, that's so impossible. They make it irresistible.
Well, it's because they put all the nice stuff at the end of the aisles and put them way cheaper than anything else. Offer. Oh yeah, when I go, that's why I have to try and eat like a huge meal. So I'm basically so full. You know, when you get so full up, you're basically bloated, and even the thought of eating was making you feel sick.
Oh, where had we been? It was like on the first day when we went to that burger place. And we had the milkshakes as well.
Oh, that was so good. The milkshakes.
Yeah, I had that feeling then.
Yeah. And then when we were walking past food, and you were like, that smells awful. Even though the walk there, you were saying how nice it smelled. And I was like, yeah, because you're full up, you don't want anything. And it's that sort of thing. I try and make sure that if I go food shopping, I have to eat beforehand. I have to like have loads to eat beforehand, because if I'm hungry, I will buy crap. And that's basically me being a hypocrite, but whatever. I can't help it. But also the thing to me is when I buy crap food, I don't just sit at home and just eat like a whole jar of whatever or anything.
See, I'm really weird like that. You would think, given the size that I am, that I do eat like shit tons of really bad for you food, which to a certain point I kind of do, but I also don't at the same time. I have a box full of like chocolate and crisps and like a goodie box. It's basically one of everything from the sweet aisle in Tesco in a box. And some of it has been there for a year. Like, I'll go out and I think, oh yeah, I really want to munch on that later, and I'll buy it, and then I'll get home and I'm like, I don't want that, I'm going to put it in the box. And then I just have this collection of food. And I've done it for ages. When I lived in Hull and had my own place, I had an entire cupboard full of biscuits and chocolate and crisps, and just, it literally was like going down the Sweet Isle in Tesco, just in my house. And whenever people came out, I said, have you got anything? Have you got any chocolate? No. To Sophie. So I don't know what you're talking about. I was just like, I know what's in that cupboard, Sophie, let me in that cupboard. No, it's my cupboard. This is my cupboard. But I still never ate it. And then when it came to moving out, I had to empty the cupboard. And some of it had just gone out of date. It was awful. It was so funny.
Okay.
I just gave it to my friends. I was like, you can have it from the cupboard. Help yourselves.
I used to, when I first moved out, I used to have a cupboard, and my cupboard was just full of junk food and shit. And I've slowly become more and more healthy, and I don't really have that much. I normally buy something bad and then I just eat it on the weekend. That's my kind of trick. But the thing is, it's just like with chocolate or crisps or anything like that, I just don't. If I don't buy it, I won't eat it. Like, if I'm craving something, I won't go, like, if I'm sat at home, it's like 9 p.m. and I'm like, I really fancy a chocolate bar. I'm not going to go out and buy it. But if I have it, I'll eat it. So I just don't buy it for myself. I only really buy myself bad food when I know I'm going to eat it, sort of thing. You know, like, and the trick is as well, is like, I have a cheat day, which is my Fridays. On the weekend, I'm a bit more liberal with it, but like Monday to Thursday, I'm pretty on point with it. You know, I don't eat a lot of crap. I don't eat biscuits. I don't eat crisps. Well, I have like the Walker's low-fat baked crisps for lunch, or with lunch, but that's about it. But it's always proportionate, because what happens, I know that you do this as well, and I know quite a few other women do it. I don't know if men do it. They probably do. It makes it sound like only women do it, but the women I know, where you'll diet really well, and then you'll go through a spot where you basically won't really eat much. And you can go for like days and you'll barely be eating anything. But what you will be eating will purely be shit food. So you may only eat a quarter of the amount of food you're meant to eat a day in like 3 days. But all you eat in that is shit. So what happens is, when you don't eat enough, your body basically goes into like survival mode in a sense. When that happens, I'm using layman's terms, this isn't a real thing, but you know what I mean? Like, when you haven't eaten anything, for ages, and your body's craving food, and then you eat sugar, it just stores the sugar, it kind of uses it immediately in a sense. So it's like, that's why it goes in the wrong places a lot more. So also with like exercise, if you do like a workout, you should not eat shit food afterwards. You should eat protein and like low sugar food afterwards. I can't know exactly how it works, because I'm not.
Well, I have no idea.
I'm not a nutritionalist, but it's all about moderation. It's all about moderation. But
you heard it here first, kids.
Moderation. That's what all the cool kids do. But going back to one of the very early things we were talking about, which was how we met, I'm going to give a bit more.
Okay.
Give a bit more actual depth to that, rather than saying we met on Plenty of Fish as well. But
I don't really know what else you can say. We met on Plenty of Fish.
Well, it wasn't. I was saying more the depth of that. I mean, thinking about it, when I was thinking about it, I thought we'd said less than we had, but really we had actually explained quite a lot.
No, we haven't. We literally said where we met, and then we went on some sort of tangerine somewhere about something else, and then we found a Satsuma and went somewhere else as well. Tangerine is tangent, and Satsuma is subject.
I gathered that.
Okay.
I think you're telling the viewers at home.
No, I was telling you.
Oh, okay. Well, I gathered that tangerine was tangent. I gather that. You also have hand signals, which you did a tangent hand signal with your arm.
Yeah, sorry.
So I can see you. I'm not just sat here with my eyes closed.
I forget.
Okay, that's fine. Your slipper still has
They're brand new slippers. Right.
Are they the stickers still stuck to the bottom?
Yes, they're brand new slippers.
Why'd you keep the sticker on them?
I didn't. They were in my charity shop bag. I was going to donate them, and I knew I was coming here, and they're my only pair of slippers. So I thought, I'm just going to borrow them out of the charity shop
They're your
bag.
only pair of slippers. Keep them then.
No.
But if you
I'm downsizing.
But if you don't take them, you're just going to buy new ones. You're going to do exactly what I was talking about, what Josh is going to do. He's selling everything he owns to go travelling. Well, when he gets back from travelling, he's going to have nothing.
Yeah, but it's
You should keep one pair of slippers.
These are my one pair of slippers, and they're going.
No,
but I don't have room for a pair of slippers.
There's nothing in them that's solid. You can literally fold them into a thing as small as a pair of socks. They're probably the only thing on the whole planet which can literally fit anyway. You could fit that in your pocket during the move.
They're boot slippers. They're not going to fit.
You can flatten them.
But anyway.
Very easily.
They're going back in the bag. I'm trying to get rid of stuff. Stop encouraging me to keep my stuff.
I'm just telling you that you have you have hundreds of pointless, random, useless things. But then
everything I own has a point.
But what you are doing is, if you get rid of just your one of everything, you're just going to have to replenish it. You know, if you get rid of all your kitchen utensils, you're going to have to buy kitchen utensils again.
I'm not taking any kitchen utensils.
Really?
Yeah.
You mean...
No, I'm lying. I'm actually taking one kitchen utensil.
A spatula?
No, it's my cheese slicer.
Why are you not taking more stuff with you when you move?
Oh, because I'm going to my dad's for a week.
Yeah, but...
My dad has stuff.
Right, but the place you go after that will not have stuff.
Will already have things. I'm going to a house share, so it's already got, like, everything that I need.
Everyone else here, and nothing, like, clean and new that's your own.
No, but then I will buy my own stuff. It depends how clean
That's what I'm saying.
are.
That's what I'm saying, is you'll buy your own stuff.
I'm not going to bring, like, a plate and a bowl.
You can't move into a house share and not bring anything. That's very rude.
I'll make a cake or something.
Well, no, but it's just using everyone else's stuff.
No,
it's like,
I'll obviously buy something. But
That's
I'm
what
not
I'm telling
going
you,
to
is you
bring one plate
but what you're saying,
from this house.
I'm telling you, you shouldn't bring one thing. Everything in the house you can split into 4, and Josh isn't taking any of it, so you would get half.
I know, but I don't want half of all of that shit.
And don't take all of it, just take a couple of things. Take a very small box. Your dad isn't going to not let you take a small box of cutlery, utensils, and plates.
God, you so don't know my dad. Sorry, Dad, but you don't know my dad.
Okay.
He won't listen to this.
Well,
So
I imagine he wouldn't. But it's still, you shouldn't get rid of it, because you always wear slippers. You love slippers, so you will know you're going to buy new ones the second you have a chance to. And you have no money.
I know, right.
So therefore you shouldn't do
my
this.
My plan is when I get into my
Your plan is bad.
Your face is bad.
I'm not debating that, but I can't change my face. You can change your plan.
I'm not changing my plan. My plan is, when I get into wherever I'm going to be it a house share, which at the moment is what it's looking like, or if I do somehow manage to get my own place, then my plan is, I'm obviously going to get celebratory new pyjamas. And that would mean getting some matching slippers and a matching dressing gown.
Are you getting rid of the dressing gown your mum gave you?
Which one? She's bought me, like, all of them.
The brand new one that she bought you, like, a couple of months ago.
Which one's that?
I don't know.
No, I don't know either.
The white one, I don't know.
The white one? I don't own a white... Oh, no, wait, I own that one. No, the white dressing gown I got from Primark...
Your mum bought you one for, it was either your birthday or
Christmas. They're blue with gold stars. No,
from the north or the south. King in the north. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
I don't know who Jon Snow is.
That's because you don't watch Game of Thrones, because you're not a cool kid.
Sad.
You're not a cool kid. You are sad. I said.
I'm not sad.
You are sad.
You're sad for all different reasons.
But Game of Thrones is still great.
Well, it's not though.
You're wrong there.
You're wrong.
Incorrect.
Yes, you are.
No.
I know you are. You said you are, so what am I?
Oh, God. I knew that was coming.
I've started using that so much recently.
Oh, God.
I'm bringing it back.
No one needs to bring that back. It's one of the worst phrases ever. I thought you were going to say it then, but you didn't.
No.
Okay.
It's too soon.
Fuck. Okay. I'm just now on edge when you're going to say it again.
So plenty of fish.
They've been in relationships. When they're in relationships and stuff, they can't, when you're in a long-term relationship, I can understand, like, if you're with someone for years, then, I can understand you not being able to sort of separate and become friends. But, like, there's certain people who've been, like, dating for, like, a short period of time, and then they split, and then it becomes so awkward, and then they basically just hate each other. It's weird. And that was one of the things I was just kind of...
Okay, what was your question? I got so confused.
I don't know. It put me off because Josh messaged me halfway through me talking, and so my mouth...
Josh.
Yeah, asking me if we're recording, and I said we were. So.
Hi, Josh.
You can't... This isn't live.
No, I know.
And he doesn't listen to the podcast, really.
Wow.
Anyone who's a guest on the podcast, like Johnny was listening to the podcast and then he guested on it, hasn't listened to it since. It's what people do.
So, what was your question?
I don't know. Do you find it weird that there's certain people who just can't separate when they've been with someone to being friends with them?
Yeah, but I don't think that has much to do with online dating. I think it's just weird people. Like, I'm friends. I still communicate with quite a lot of people that I have been with. I don't know. It's probably a part of not wanting to let go, but I don't know. I'm a nice person.
Kind of the point why I said, sort of when we were discussing it, when we did split, it was one of those things where it was like, well, you know, there are signs to show that this, you know, even if it lasted a year or two, like being in a relationship, it would not be a lifetime thing. It wouldn't be, you know, we're going to get together, be together, have kids together and die together. It was clear after a couple of weeks that wasn't going to be the case. And it's like, well, some people would just be like, oh, I'll just date him for a while and see what happens. But, you know, it was more of a case of, well, if we just stay friends, obviously we didn't see each other for a while after we split because you need some time to kind of, one needs time to be able to...
No, I didn't need time, yeah.
Well, I needed time as well. It's like, I wasn't trying to say just you need time. I was saying...
I know.
You know,
one needs time.
One needs time. To be able to split kind of separate it again. And then when you hang out again, then there's certain parameters and boundaries. Because things like, you know, when there's someone who you're dating, for example, you know, if you're in... I don't like when people do this anyway, but when you're in the loo, you know, there's more... You can kind of be a bit more free walking in if they're urinating or anything like that, or if they're in the shower, or if they're getting changed. I hate that. If I'm in the bathroom with the door closed, I don't want anyone coming in. But like, there's certain things where levels of privacy. But like, if you're dating for like a long period of time, and then you suddenly stop dating, but you don't have any time away from each other, it can become really weird because you need to have the time to kind of get yourselves together, essentially. And then when you reintroduce yourself to each other, you have to have new parameters, you know?
You have to be in a separate space.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, when I get changed with the door closed because even though I don't really care that much about, people seeing my body, it's like you have to put in, it's just part of being a person, I guess. It's just that there are certain sort of, walls you put up in a way. And I thought, well, when you split with someone, you know, I've had it in the past as well, where, you know, I've dated someone and then we've been friends afterwards. And then, you know, still, when I go up and get changed, even if they've seen me get changed and things like that before, I still close the door because otherwise it becomes a weird thing.
Yeah, no, I understand. I get that, yeah.
Yeah, so I think people have a difficulty in. But obviously it depends on how people break up because a lot of the time people won't sort of both look at the relationship and go, you know what, this isn't working.
Not everyone is us.
No, that's true. And not everyone's like looks at it and reevaluates it and goes, you know, maybe we should not do this. Let's just be mates. Instead, what ends up happening is one of them kind of feels that way, doesn't say anything, and then they get resentful towards each other. And then one of them makes the other one hate them as well. And then one of them cheats usually. And then it just becomes this horrible mess where neither of them are communicating properly. All because at one point one of them kind of realised they shouldn't be together. Instead of being adults and talking about it and raising concerns, they were just being cowards, or the person who figured it out was being a coward, and then just waited and just hoped it gets better. It's like, I'm not saying anyone who has doubts in their relationship should just stop it and break up and not try. It's like, you know, it's not as simple and easy as that. But it's like when there are issues, you need to just communicate them. And sometimes the communication makes it so the relationship ends, and other times it makes it so the relationship sort of prevails. But not every relationship people are going to get in is going to make them last forever. And there are some people who aren't going to be in your life forever, because most people aren't going to be in your life forever. But, you know, it's like, as I said a little bit earlier with us, I could see we weren't going to be in a relationship for the whole time, as could you. So it was like, well, if we're mates, there's a much higher chance we'll be able to be in each other's lives a lot more, you know? And I'm sure there's people as well who, you know, some people can't disconnect, some people let it go on, and then some people, they don't let themselves be friends. It's the whole sort of gender thing, you know, with male and female, where it's like certain men can't be friends with women or certain women can't be friends with men, obviously being if you're either bi or in a heterosexual sense. I mean, I'm quite lucky because obviously the girl I'm dating at the moment, we'll say at the moment, hopefully I'll be dating for a long time, but like, who I'm seeing at the moment, she's got a couple of friends who she had dated previously. And they realised, similarly to the way we did, it was like, well, this isn't working out, let's just be mates. And they did. And she's got them as well. So I'm very lucky that she's like that and she understands. But, there'd be a lot of people who, if they started dating me and they were like, what, you're still mates with, one of your exes. So,
yeah, but people are very weird about it. Yeah. I've had several of my previous relationships be like, why do you talk to him? Because why not? Who's your ex? What point are you trying to make? He's still my friend. Like, just because he's an ex.
Yeah, there are some guys that you've dated that are really weird about, what about me?
Yeah, one of them was about you.
I think it depends though, doesn't it? Because there's some people. The problem is it's a very, very hard line. Understandably, I mean, there are some people who, when they have dated their ex and they split, it's very clear that one of them still has feelings for the other one.
Yeah.
And when that happens, then it becomes really weird because it's just like, I've been in a position before where I've been dating someone and they're still friends with their ex and their ex still clearly into them and they broke up with their ex. And it's just kind of like, every time they hang out, you can just kind of get the vibe and you can tell. And you're like, for me, it was like, well, this guy's clearly into her. I mean, I can tell from what I think I can tell that she's not into him, but it's like, I trust her enough. So if they're at a party or anything like that or anything like that, then I can trust her to not do anything. But I don't trust him to not do anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying he would do anything horrendous or anything like that. I just mean in the sense of like, if she, if me and her, for example, had an argument, she got really drunk and then decided to fuck someone, he would be in there immediately.
Like a shot, yeah.
Yeah, there's people who are a bit like that, unfortunately. Oh well. But is there anything else you're going to add to that?
Yeah, I started going into that place where you visit when you start thinking about all your exes. Oh, God.
And that's the end of part 1. Thanks as always for tuning in, guys. Part 2 will be out next week, and as said in the intro, we talk a bit more about just sort of random things, kind of jumping from subject to subject. But we do talk about online dating and Tinder a fair amount, including a catfish story of Sophie's, so that's a really good one to listen to as well. And for the coming weeks, I've got a podcast recorded with Headley of We Fix Space Junk, a very good sci-fi audio drama, which I implore everyone who's listening to go out and check it out because it is amazing. So he's on the podcast and we talk about We Fix Space Junk, sound engineering and a few other things. So that'll be released at some point in the next month or two, I imagine. I've also had a chat with Junior of We the Lifers, which are sort of a clothing brand, but a bit more than that. We talk about a lot of things there as well. So I went up to London late this week, so that's why I've got those two recorded. I've also got a few chats over Skype to be recorded. One's with someone who sold 500,000 copies of a book. Another one's a CEO of a company. There's quite a widespread amount of people. I've also got another chat with a returning guest. My friend TJ, hopefully we're going to be recording in the next couple of weeks as well. She was actually on the second episode of Genuine Chit-Chat, all about travelling. So yeah, as well as a couple of other things I've got in the pipeline. As usual, I'm very, very busy. So that's lots of fun. As usual, guys, please support the show by, reviewing on iTunes. Even if you don't want to leave a written review, you can give a 5-star review. But a written review kind of helps, especially if there's any things that you wish I could improve in this show. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, all the usual places. I'm toying with the idea of putting a Patreon page up, but I'm not sure when I'm fully going to do that. But if anyone's interested in that, give me a shout. I was thinking about doing it like standalone episodes every couple of weeks of just myself talking, primarily movie reviews and sort of ranting things. I don't know. I haven't fully figured it out, but if you're interested in that, hit me up. That's it really. Thanks as always for everyone listening, especially so far into the podcast and right up to the end. So, yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you again next week.